Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are having a great day so far. So today I've got a very exciting foundation review for you. It is the new Cle De Peau Radiant Fluid Foundation Natural. I was so excited to try this one as soon as I saw it. You may remember I reviewed the original, which was the Radiant Fluid. It did this to me in the original review. The Radiant Fluid Foundation Matte. It's a strange order of words for me to remember. But I tried the foundation, the matte version of this from Cle De Peau when it first released. And I loved everything about it, apart from the fact that it was just too matte for my personal preference. So when I heard there was a natural finish version coming, I was pretty excited. So I'm very sorry, this is going to be a first impressions try on, swatches, etc. But I'm not going to be able to do a long wear test today because it's only just arrived and it is now the evening time. So I don't have the hours left in the day to get a wear test on the end for you. So I will update you as to how I'm getting on and to how I'm finding it wears, because this foundation, it has some pretty bold claims. Let me tell you, these claims are very cheeky, and if it lives up to them, then perhaps we'll consider, it being worth half of the price that they're asking. So to let you know, I did choose a different shade than the one that I used in my review of the matte foundation. This was the BF 50 that I used in the matte shade, and it was a little warm. So BF, I will have the shade chart up for you, and this unfortunately doesn't include all the new shades of the new foundation. I haven't been able to find the chart because they have extended their shade range for this new one. So all of the shades aren't on this chart, but this will show you and help you understand the letters because it's a minefield. So the BF shades are the warm, and there wasn't very many of them, but I just found this was too warm for me, too yellow on my skin. So I decided to try an O shade this time, and I went with O40 so that I could try what is supposed to be a neutral shade this time and see if that worked better, and it was much better for me, as you can probably tell. I did decide to go like one up because it's, it's nearly April now. Summer, sunny days are coming, and I didn't want to pick a foundation shade that cost £110 for it to only be usable for a few weeks before I start to pick up some tan. So yeah, I did decide to go like a shade up from where I thought I would be right now so that it's going to last me throughout the rest of the year. I do have some comparison swatches for you. I know it's an expensive foundation that lots of us can't get to swatch just now, so hopefully these will be helpful. So here are some comparison shades for you. This is the Cle De Peau matte version of this foundation in BF 50. Then you have the one that I used today in O40, and then you've got Shiseido Synchro Skin Self Refreshing in the shade Citrine, and then at the end the Tom Ford shade Illuminate in Shell Beige. So you can kind of see where this sits. It's definitely a bit lighter than my summer skin and kind of around the same range as the Shell Beige, but it's not as olive as that one. It's a bit peachier. Without further ado, let's crack this bad boy open and see what we think. As always, I'm going in with my Tatcha Silk Canvas. This is just a really reliable base for me. Like, it's just never played me, never let me down, never pilled, never moved, never reacted or fought against any foundation I have tried. So I just know that it's not going to mess with the foundation, and if anything weird was to happen, I know it's the foundation and not the primer, because the primer is tried and true. So here is the external box, shade name on the end there, and then this stunning bottle on the inside. And you will instantly notice, if you have the original matte formula, that this bottle is different. It is shiny as opposed to the matte glass. Here they are side by side, so you can see this is the new shiny bottle and this is the matte of the original matte fluid foundation formula. So I like that's a nice little touch, so you can easily see which is which in your drawer if you own both. So I'm giving this one a good shake. Let's have a look at the texture. So it's very runny, like quite a watery sort of thin texture. Shade looks okay, as expected. It is that same Cle De Peau fragrance. Very nice and fresh, but it is fragranced if that's not your thing. So as always, I'm going to go half a face with my Beauty Blender damp and half a face with my brush to see if there's a particular method that works nicely with this foundation. Now you instantly see this is obviously darker than my face. I decided, because this is such a pricey foundation, that I was going to kind of try and go in between like my summer and winter shades, so it's one that I can get away with winter or summer. It's obviously darker than my face, but it's going to be pretty close to my body right now, and in a few weeks time, now we've started to get these beautiful sunny days, this will be a good match. And it will be too light for me at some point during the summer, but that is okay to be a little bit lighter on my face than my body, as that's what my body does anyway. But this is a really nice undertone. This is a much better undertone for me than the previous shade I used in the matte, which was BF50. So here's one kind of quite light pass. Still a lot of foundation left on my tray, so this has given me like a light coverage, I'd say. It's kind of evened things out, but there's still redness peeking through and things like that, but you can still see skin-like finish, and very, very smoothing, and very, just like the original actually, very quick to apply and blend out and get a really nice seamless application. So I'm going to go on this side now with my Rephr 17 brush and see what that does as far as coverage. We generally expect to see like more coverage using less product with a brush, but it doesn't happen every time. So it's good to test the theory out, you know. I do love that scent. Doesn't seem particularly overwhelming this time. Bringing that down my neck, as obviously this shade is a little darker than my face and my neck right now. Okay, so with that kind of same amount of foundation used, there's still a fair bit on here, but I'd say it's a similar amount used on this side, and I think we've kind of just got a hair more coverage perhaps. The Beauty Blender side I feel like tends to stay a bit more, you get a bit of a glowier finish. This is obviously more recently applied, but again, a very even, very quick and easy application. You know, I use quite a diddy brush, but both sides, as you will have noticed, were very quick to get, you know, a nice even application. No like brush stroke struggles or anything like that. So far I think it's super beautiful, very smooth, very perfected, but a lot more radiance. But it's not like dewy and wet, it's just maximum like radiance and luminosity without it being like wet and dewy or looking like oily. So far so good. I'm going to go over my whole face again with a bit more product now and just see how we can build up and see if I can get more towards that full coverage and see if I can cover all of my redness, all of my discoloration without any peeking through still. This is a really, really lovely undertone. I feel like if you're my shade twin, you're going to be better off sticking with the O shades as opposed to the BF shades for sure. I think if I was trying to get my perfect winter match, I'd go down a shade to 030, and if I was trying to get my perfect summer match, I'd probably go up a shade to 050. But I feel like this is going to be one that I can wear now and I can wear in the coming months as well. This is so beautiful. Oh my god. Definitely going to be my preferred of the two Cle De Peau. This is definitely very reminiscent of my Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate and the Shiseido Radiant, whatever that one's called, and the Shiseido Radiant Lifting Foundation, like my two favourites, my benchmarks, those two foundations. This is the same as those, as in it's the medium full coverage, it's the natural luminosity to the skin, super smooth, no exaggeration, quick and easy to apply without using a huge amount. It's giving me all of that same vibes. So this is what we've got as a starting place with nice low lighting for you to see everything. Just the smoothest, glowiest, beautiful skin. I'm sure this will dry down slightly less shiny over the next hour. I'm going to go and finish the rest of my makeup and then we'll see how it's kind of set down. Back in a few. Okay, so I'm back and I've finished the rest of my makeup. Very, very simple today. Just went with bronzer and highlight on cheeks and eyes, as well as a little pop of blush and some lippy and mascara, and we're good to go. Pretty much a full face then. But minimal products, you know, give me some credit. But everything went on top of the foundation beautifully. I didn't set it with powder, as I very rarely do. For my skin type, it's just not necessary with every foundation. And everything went beautifully over the top. No catching, no issues, no lifting up. Everything went seamlessly over the top. It definitely feels like it's got the tiniest bit of tack to it, but there's no like transfer on my hands as I'm like touching my face. There's no issues like that it's lifting up or anything like that. And I feel like we will lose that over the next maybe hour or so. It's not been very long. It's probably been half an hour since I finished putting this on. I feel like it's getting there. It's probably going to dry down and not still be tacky, but we will check back in on that. So I've zoomed you right in and turn my lights down so that you can kind of get a more realistic view of the foundation nice and up close. It's just by the tiniest little snippet soaked into the deeper of my smile lines on this side, just about. That's literally the only negative I'm currently seeing. It is flawless, so smooth on like the rest of my face. My forehead looks like a dream, super smooth, no issues like with the lines there. And this, as I said before to you guys, this is my like problem area where it shows my aging the most, and it just looks like a dream there. Really smooth, you know, not exaggerating texture, really smoothing over lines and things like that, like texture that you get around this area on my top lip, my nose, all between eyebrows, even though I've been like going ham with the retinol recently, well always, but especially recently. Everything is just looking like a dream, and this finish is just exactly what I look for. This is obviously highlight here, but the rest of the glow to my skin is the foundation, and it just is in such a beautiful way. It's not dewy and sticky and wet and oily looking. It's that luminosity and very natural skin-like texture to it. It's definitely like not a no makeup foundation because of the coverage. It's definitely a full coverage, full glam foundation, but you can certainly use it more sheer as I did initially and keep that coverage level a bit more natural. But it's very, very skin-like as far as the finish and the texture, but it doesn't also feel super lightweight either. So you can feel like you're wearing foundation if that matters to you. It doesn't to me, it doesn't bother me, but for some people want to feel really light and like you've got nothing on, it's obviously not going to feel like you're not wearing makeup. So I did take a flash photo of this foundation, and no surprise really that it looks like it's got a fair amount of bounce back happening, white cast, whatever you want to call it, flashback Mary. It does have, you know, SPF 25 in there, so it's definitely not one that I would probably trust on like a night out, big night out, where there's going to be flash photography and inside lighting, you just can't really tell what your makeup's going to do. So it's probably not flash safe, I would suggest. Now, as I said, I don't have time, unfortunately, to do a huge long wear test. It's already nearly 6 o'clock here. So, you know, I'm going to be going to bed in like the next 4 hours. So it's not really going to be any test for this foundation because, let's be honest, it claims 24-hour wear and it costs £110. So if it's going to be falling off my face in the next 2 or 3 hours, then I'll have fainted and won't be in any position to film the check-in anyway. But it is certainly, so far, so extremely exciting for me. This is what I live for, this type of foundation that is, you know, luminous, but not too oily, wet looking, dewy, you know, a luminous glow to the skin that looks healthy and looks fresh and looks youthful and just looks natural and skin-like. I love that. And I love a little bit more coverage so that my redness can be evened out and all that discoloration hidden away, but still look like my skin is kind of there, still thereabouts. Really happy that I managed to match a little better this time. As you can see, I'm a little red right now because I've just been running around. But yeah, this is going to be perfect for me for the next few months. I feel like I'll be able to get away with this in summer as well as in winter, so that's perfect. I don't really want to buy 2 shades of a £110 foundation, let's just say that. So I will update you in the comment section down below as to how I'm getting on with this in the next couple of days and how it's been wearing for me and how it wears today over the next at least maybe 4, maybe we'll scrape to 5 hours, and I'll let you know. If you've tried this foundation, please let us know, especially if you know your shade, and you can help everybody out with shade matching down below. Please let us know how you've got on with that because it's tricky, isn't it? I hope you enjoyed this foundation first impressions, and I would love to see you in my next video. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye.